Okay, this was a trade that was taken just a while ago. Took it on this bar right here. As you can see, the system gave an indication here. This bar. It was identified as a no demand bar. However, I was not watching my charts when that popped up. And the following bar was on slightly higher volume. Here you can see a no demand. And this one was on volume lower than the previous two bars. So that's where I took my short position. As you can see, the trend is still down. And I put my stop loss at 30 pips here. My take profit is at 30 pips. It's down there. Now, usually I don't trade at this time of day because this is usually when volume starts to decline as the European session is almost over. But as you can see on this up move, volume has been declining. So I doubt price is going to go up much anymore. So I'm waiting to see if price falls sharply. Otherwise, I might close the trade prematurely. So I'll check back on the trade later to see what's going on. Okay, as you can see at the close of this bar, the volume is lower than the previous bar, and it's slightly higher than two bars before it. And it was an up bar. It had trouble going up through this previous high, or this previous high right here. So I would say price is still weak. So even though the color of the bars has changed and the diamonds are now white, I'm going to hold on a little longer to see if price eventually falls, or to see any signs of possible strength that could be there. Now this was identified as a no supply bar because, as you can see, price was a down bar and the volume was lower than the previous many bars, as you can see. So the system picked that up as low volume on the down bar closing near the lows. So it was identified as a no supply. However, I usually ignore signals like this one or indications like this one when we have a downtrend in place. Okay, so let's see what happens next. Okay, so now the system has identified another sign of strength right here. As you can see, it is a down bar with volume lower than the previous two. So the system has identified this formation as a no supply bar. Okay, but I'm going to hold on a little longer because I haven't seen any decisive signs of strength telling me that this down move is over. Now if I see price start to range for a while, then I might close it out because I don't like to hold any positions while price is ranging. I'll keep you updated on the trade. Okay, so now another bar has formed. It was slightly an up bar. Volume is lower than the previous many bars. Perhaps the lowest, no, not the lowest in the session, but the second lowest in the session. And since it was an up bar, such low volume was identified as a no demand by the system. Now the trend continues to be down, so I'm still holding my position. I was also looking at the 15-minute chart. As you can see, we have the downtrend in place still. We had some strength coming in here. See these potential hidden buyers. Now, in order to confirm that, we probably need a test of this area. Now, this last bar that just closed, you see there's an arrow here. The system identified it also In this case, it was a successful test since it was a down bar which closed in the middle. So in this case, the 15 minute time frame is going against my position. So I might consider closing this trade out earlier instead of waiting for it to hit either the take profit or the stop loss. Since we are also coming into an area of since we're also coming into a time where volume tends to decrease. Keep you informed. Okay, another bar just closed on the 5-minute time frame. It was slightly an up bar on lower volume. The system identified this as a no demand bar. The trend is still down, as you can see right now. Price is starting to go up. Let's see how this bar closes. Now this is why I don't like to trade when volume starts drying up, because we get a lot of indications like this one, so I just tend to ignore them because I know that volume is drying up. So obviously it's going to identify many of the bars as low volume and therefore show the signals for either no demand or no supply. So let's see how this progresses. Okay, a new bar has formed here. As you can see, price went up and it closed near the lows. So this is somewhat of an upthrust bar. It was maybe designed to catch stops that were at around this level. So you can see it barely went above the high of this bar. This is the high volume down bar right here, which is probably what began to cause this slight up move. Although the up move has been on decreasing volume, lower volume, since volume is drying up right now, that's probably the reason why we're not seeing much of a decline in the price. This seems to be an upthrust. It was on increasing volume, as you can see, but it closed in the middle, between the middle and the low of the bar. So that's not such a strong bar. We'll see what happens next. Okay, so now we have a very narrow spread down bar. Volume is not lower than the previous two, but it is lower than on the previous bar. So this possibly shows that there is no selling pressure and that the market is probably going to range from now on. So I am considering closing the trade now. If I close the trade, I will let you know. As you can see now on the 15-minute time frame, since this was an up bar with decreasing volume, now the system has given us an indication here. It has identified this as no demand. So this could be a possible reason to hold the trade a little longer. Maybe it will come down to test this area one more time, and that could be a possible place to put the target, to set the target. Instead of the usual 30 pips, you could just adjust the target due to the time I am trading right now at, where volume is starting to dry up. So just tighten up the take profit and possibly the stop loss as well. Okay, I've been away from the charts for a while, but I'm here to update you on the trade. As you can see, the take profit was hit right around this bar right here. It did take a long time, but that was to be expected since we were entering the time where the volume tends to dry up. Here's where I opened the trade, and here's where it was closed. I'm sorry, here around 30 pips. So as you can see, that took 45-minute bars. So that would be 3 hours and 20 minutes. But eventually the take profit was hit before I left my charts, I moved my stop loss to right above these two green lines. So that was almost the same as the 30 pips. I originally had it at, as you can see, the take profit was reached eventually, price-wise ranging here around the area of the open of this high volume down bar. It's ranging there. Price was low, so eventually it dropped, and then it just continued to drop. Here it tested this area for a while, but then it continued to drop. As you can see in this bar here, the supply was overcoming demand. That's what the system identified this as. That's why it continued to drop. Here's the 15-minute chart. As you can see, it detected weakness all over this area. Okay, and eventually price fell again and through this area of potential support. So I hope you liked the video, and hopefully you learned something about how to trade using this system.